Hey, welcome back to Crashing Out with DeFranco and Alex Pearlman. And on this week's episode, we talk about a lot. We dive into the Netflix-Paramount showdown over Warner Brothers. We award our first ever Crashing Out Peace Prize. And we get into Trump getting played like a fiddle for a pardon. There is just a lot going down today. So remember to follow and subscribe and give us a like and 5 stars.
Phil, take the hat off. This is a serious show, all right? We have a lot of topics to cover. And you can't be sitting there wearing a cowboy hat like Yosemite Sam, okay?
This is a serious hat. I'm coming back from Texas. I'm fueled with Americana. Those Southern boys, they figured it out. They were like, big hat, extra few inches, cowboy boots. They're just heels. They're just lifts. They're manly. I was walking around 6'2", 6'5" with the hat. I was
6'5" with the hat.
I was imagining what my life would be like being 6'5". I'd be unstoppable. Unstoppable.
Phil, your life wasn't good enough as it is. You need to be 6'5" on top of that. You have a wonderful family. You're in shape. You're 40. You got a good hairline. Take the hat off, bud. All right, because it's giving very much. Thank you so much. Phil spent exactly 3 days in Austin, Texas. And now you're red pilled. Is that what this is?
Oh man, I'm ready to run. I'm ready to run as a MAGA conservative.
There you go.
I'm all for gun laws. How about no gun laws?
Oh.
How about no? I also love that it's like going to Austin, Texas, like it's like it's the most right-wing place on the planet. And it's
I know. Well,
meanwhile, I'm walking down like the most fucking touristy thing. People in like chunky knit sweaters, buying cowboy hats. Like it's like no. But I will say, I haven't been back to California in a little over a year and a half. Tex-Mex, fucking amazing. I had so many good meals there. Anyway, not to make this all about me, but it was.
No, let's not make it all about you.
And I got along with a lot of people that we don't agree with things ideologically, and we were nice enough to not talk about it in person. That's good.
There you go. Did you guys bring up the Warner Brothers sale? Did that come up while you were at there? Because I feel like right now, I think we're starting to see the same way. For some reason, liberals lost Target. There is now a dividing line coming down on who should own Warner Brothers, whether it be Netflix or Paramount, because it was over the weekend. It dropped that Netflix won the bidding war. It was $83 billion or something like that they were going to purchase Warner Brothers Studio, including HBO Max and their movie assets and library and those things. They were going to spin off the television. And then on Monday, Paramount came back. The Ellison family, with the Saudis and Jared Kushner of EA Sports fame, showed up and said that they were actually going to unleash a hostile takeover.
The Triforce of evil.
Yes. The Eiffel Tower of showed up and said that they actually are going to be the ones who are going to take Warner Brothers. Meanwhile, Trump has been in the middle the entire time. He's just been leaning back. Like that one meme.
I like the Eiffel Tower reference then, because it's Trump's like, who's going to give it to me the best? I mean, that's very much the situation it's in right now. And it feels
Trump
like no matter, it feels from that one movie. It feels like we are in a place where no matter who wins, we lose. But I do think that there is a clear winner. And also to answer your question earlier, no, this did not come up. Other things came up where I was like, oh, the right-wing creator ecosystem seems way more nefarious and corrupt than I previously had any belief that it could be. It was. Yeah. Anyway, but as far as this deal, I know who I'm. It's weird to say rooting for, because this is very much. I talked to Senator Warren this morning, and I wasn't able to get her to be like, okay, so just if someone had to win. Who would have to win? Because it felt a little bit like, okay, so if you had to fuck a parental figure or a sibling, which would it be? So she was like, it sounded like in her world maybe both deals get killed, but what do you think's gonna happen here?
So if I'm gonna do the opposite of Liz Warren, if I had to fuck, marry, kill the Netflix Warner Brothers Paramount deal, I would desperately try to kill the Paramount deal. I would desperately try to make sure that doesn't happen. The Saudis don't need more power. The Ellisons don't need more power because remember, David Ellison took over Paramount using Larry Ellison's money. Larry Ellison is now the second richest man in the world again. He goes back and forth. I actually saw a TikTok where somebody pointed out weirdly intuitively, you can always tell when Larry Ellison's about to make a deal because suddenly his net worth shoots up through the roof because everyone buys Oracle stock. And the same exact thing happened right before the Paramount deal closed. The same exact thing happened right before the TikTok deal closed. And recently, right before the announcement that they were going to do the hostile takeover of Warner Brothers, his stock shot up through the roof. So Larry Ellison is the big boogeyman to me. That has been kind of everything that people say about George Soros. Larry Ellison checks off all those boxes. So I'm more worried about that. I'm also kind of terrified of the aspect of Paramount having and controlling that many things. The other thing, the Netflix side, I don't want that either. However, looking at it, I'm like, well, if I'm forced to choose between the two, then I guess I'll go towards Netflix. But I also don't think that Netflix is as safe a bet for libs. I know a lot of people who point to Netflix. I've seen a lot of the right-wing ecosphere especially coming out. Jack Posobiec, whatever his name is. Jack,
check it off your bingo card.
Check it off.
Check it off.
Yeah, all right. Jack the Pollock, he came out and was like, oh, when Netflix owns Warner Brothers. Nope, too much? Was that too far?
I haven't heard anyone say that since my dad 30 years ago.
Yeah, well, you know what? I mean, you get used to it. You're moving to Austin. We're bringing back the old school. Anyway, Jack made a big deal that if Netflix buys Warner Brothers, then Harry Potter will be woke now, and a bunch of other different things, to which people kept replying to him with memes and just images of Looney Tunes characters in drag. Like famously, like Bugs Bunny in drag, Wile E. Coyote in drag, like all these different characters, and just being like, shut up. This is just entertainment. I think to me, a lot of the people who point to Netflix, especially, and being like, oh, they're going to be more woke. I'm like, Netflix is the platform that is giving Joe Rogan, Matt Rife, all these other different stand-up comedians, like millions, tens and millions of dollars to put out specials that do lean more on the right wing. I'm just saying, like Andrew Schultz, they have WWE, which is a MAGA company that they're aligned with, all these other different things. I'm not saying they're as far gone as Paramount, but I'm also not saying that they aren't willing to play ball in the same way. At the end of the day, this is going to come down to who bribes Trump the best. That's how this is going to come down to. Who bribes Trump the best? And I guess my biggest question is, why does Warner Brothers even need to sell? Right?
I mean, right now, I wouldn't want fucking Zaslav heading anything. I mean, this is a guy that, I mean, and the problem is that like, there's so many different fronts as far as like a consumer for entertainment, someone that wants to see people in the industries thrive, also someone that's worried about our democracy. If we're talking about a pure content thing, you've got a head with Zaslav that he thought like HBO is too prestigious of a brand. He was like, we need to get some more of our fucking garbage reality TV content mixed in. Let's change the fucking name of stuff. It's like, it took like everyone in the world going, are you the dumbest man on the planet for them to revert? But yeah, here's what I'll say regarding Netflix. I do think that they are, I think Sarandos and Netflix are very money above all. So I think that puts them in a place of they will play ball. I think back to moments where Hassan Minhaj had his show censored because of Saudi Arabia, and that they were willing to crack down on things. I look to then looking pure entertainment. I think that Netflix, they're very much willing to placate for a little bit and go like, oh yeah, we'll keep stuff in theaters for now, when their real goal is to ultimately, and it's not limited to Netflix, but their real goal is to really almost kill off the movie. Treat the movie as like the little cherry on top here and there, rather than something that takes up more of the entertainment landscape right now. Because if you're gonna go like, okay, so something's gonna cost $150 million to $500 million. It's going to be 2 hours of content, or we could use that same budget, and who even knows, because sometimes they make slop and then they have their premiere content, and we can keep people booked or locked into Netflix for 12 to 15 hours, right? They've even said their competitor is not any other network. It's Sleep, right? Yeah. And so these are not people that really are thinking about the movie theaters outside of, okay, this puts us into award shows. And then Paramount, I don't want a world where the Ellisons control even more, where they are in a position that they would very much I don't have fucking love for CNN, but I don't want a world where Ellison is like, and these are the people we're going to put on the sacrificial altar, and we're going to humiliate or do whatever in our takeover. Like they already have, Barry Weiss changing what CBS News is, and CNN was even trying to go like middle of the road with where they were going like since the last few years. So I get nervous about, I don't know, just any of
I'm
these.
desperate.
So
I'm
I think
desperate to
Netflix
see what Barry Weiss. I'm desperate to see what Barry Weiss will do with Batman. That's what I want to know. What will Barry Weiss do with Batman? That's what I'm like, because this is the thing is there's so much IP tied with this, and like but to a couple points you're saying there, and I don't mean to cut you off, but I have
Absolutely,
to, because I don't know if you know this. I am actually the winner of the Crashing Out Peace Prize, Phil. I recently received this, and you need to know that you're speaking to an award winner right now. As the owner of the Crashing Out Peace Prize, I do want to point out that Paramount, they just got bought. They're still rearranging the deck chairs on that ship. And they're now like, oh, we're going to add in and bring in more stuff. Like, it's just a crazy, from a technical business standpoint, it doesn't make any sense to go from almost no companies to owning, I think that by the time this is done, it's like 50 some subsidiaries. Like when you add in all of the different channels, Cartoon Network, I mean, like when you really start breaking it down for people, I think a lot of people's brains break, because we say words like Paramount and we say words like Warner Brothers and HBO Max, but like at the end of the day, like we're talking about Johnny Bravo, we're talking about Dexter's Lab, we're talking about Samurai Jack, we're talking about the Justice League, we're talking about Harry Potter, we're talking about Game of Thrones, we're talking about so much of culture, and then maybe in some weird way, maybe it'll be a good thing, then we'll actually create new culture, but at the end of the day, this is going to be handed to the Ellisons, who are going to put it into an AI slop bucket and just start turning that crank. Now, whether or not they'll turn that crank and make sure that it's just a baseline AI, or it's one that's going to tell us that Benjamin Netanyahu's a great guy. Like, we don't fucking know. And that's, I think, where the really big question is.
Wait, really quick. I'm going to cut you off because there's two things.
Okay.
I also feel like I won an award. It is a little bit different. It was the winner of the Beat the Eagles award. It must Jalen Hurts to lose, to walk into Dicker the Kicker's house, think that you're going to really do something, especially when our quarterback, Justin Herbert, stiff-arming man, people with a broken arm or a hand. You know what? No, broken torso.
Phil, I want to cut you off real fast because you're bringing up football right now. You're bringing up football. And the thing is, Phil, you're bringing up football on a podcast about news content. And we all know that nobody who listens to this show or watches this show or gives it 5 stars on Spotify and iTunes gives a shit about football. And that's the reason why I'm the double Crashing Out Peace Prize winner. And also the king of this podcast. Thank you so much to the listeners, to all the people who comment, who send us in questions and said that I am the king of the Crashing Out. They said, well, are we ever going to give Phil a crown? I said, absolutely not. He's low energy. Low energy Philip DeFranco.
Hey, you're shitting on Peace Prize. I think Peace Prizes. I think keep giving Trump made up Peace Prizes.
100%.
There should be the Paramount Pretty Princess Award. Give it to him. The Netflix
Paramount
Neocon.
Pretty Princess. I love this idea. The Paramount Prince of Peace. That's me, the Paramount Prince of Peace. This doesn't feel demonic whatsoever. There's nothing in Revelations about this. Give me the Prince of Peace Prize. It's a globe being dragged to hell. Who would say anything about it? Trump got the FIFA Peace Prize, which somebody else pointed this out. I don't know who they were, but I have to call it out on, and it's perfect. This was Trump's bar mitzvah, because he got given a fake award. And then his favorite band played his favorite song. The Village People got up and sang the YMCA as he stood doing the double Bubba dance.
I missed the YMCA part. Oh,
wow.
No,
it was there. Yeah, no, it closed with that. We had to have the presidents of America's hats and boots standing on either side of him. Canada and Mexico were there, trying desperately to act like this wasn't the most embarrassing thing they've ever dealt with. President Scheinbaum had to pretend that she wouldn't feel more comfortable with a cartel. And President Canada, whatever his name is just, I've never seen
President Canada.
I don't know. He disassociated. He just, at one point, he just stared off. And because they did the draw. It was the FIFA draw was officially what they were supposed to be there. They were supposed to be picking what cities were supposed to be happening for the World Cup next year. And it was just, there's a layer of like, how embarrassed can we be as a country? And I think we've nailed it. I think we haven't bottomed yet. Not as hard as Trump in the Oval with Bubba, but we're getting there.
Yeah, I'm for it. I think he earned it by stopping more wars than any other president, at least in his head. I think he's a winner, and also it keeps him busy, right? I think
it does.
I think the more time he's out there taking fake awards, he has less time for Stephen Miller to have that hand up his ass, puppeteering like the downfall of the country. I think give him more made up things. I was ready to crap on FIFA for doing this, but also, where is anyone's like expectations or respect for the fucking for FIFA?
Apple gave him a gold trophy. Remember?
But this is what you do. So we
I know that's really this is what the Netflix thing. You got to bribe him. You got to do it openly. You have to do it grovelingly. Okay, which is why I want to offer President Trump the second gold crown in Crashing Out history. You'll be the president of peace, the Crashing Out president of peace, the biggest boy. This crown is for you, President Trump, our Lord and Savior, once and future president. All you have to do, honestly, come on the show. You don't even have to speak to us in good faith. You can speak to us in whatever faith you want to. Okay? Open entrance.
You gotta be careful. You're gonna joke your way into getting full Pentagon access. You're like, oh,
I
no,
forgot that was this week. Oh my God, that was this week.
Yeah, you gotta watch out.
Oh my God.
Man.
Yeah, that was for the listeners who. For any of you guys who haven't, we get so many good messages, Phil. And this week was also Spotify Wrapped week. And I got tagged in a lot of Spotify Wraps for people, many of which you were tagging my other podcast, Too Many Tabs. But they also had In Good Faith. They also had the Phil DeFranco show on there. And many of them, when they tagged me on Instagram, they said, I would have tagged Crashing Out, but you guys haven't run long enough to have the listening hours to make it on this year. So we're looking forward to their 2026 Wrapped. But this week, well, so many people reached out and said, thank you so much for creating this podcast because I can't keep track of everything. So I just kind of tune out until you guys tell me what I should care about. And I want to say dangerous, very dangerous. Okay. But thank you for the listeners for giving us that award, the What We Should Tune In award for the listeners of Crashing Out. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to set that award right there. I feel like we've almost won enough, Phil.
Almost. There's always more. There's always more, bigger and better. I mean, for a show that is as new as ours, because I was seeing things where it was like on Spotify, we were like top 1% and top 5% of all video podcasts. So that was good. I feel like we're in a growth area there. On YouTube, numbers have been great. Like I'm shocked that we have a podcast that gets more views than number of subscribers, and so I'll always be like, yeah, subscribe more. But it's a cool thing for me since I have the
accolades are. I mean, you can see the accolades are coming in. Obviously, we just can't stop winning awards right now, which is just incredible. Maybe next year we'll go up for a Golden Globe, right? They've got Dax Shepard on there. Maybe we can beat Dax Shepard.
Oh, that's big. That's big.
Yeah, because they announced the Golden Globes. None of the so let's go back real quick to the Pentagon. They they walked the entire Pentagon press corps. That was how many? Like 6 weeks ago?
Yeah,
approximately.
When they were like, okay, so you got to sign this document that makes everything super sketchy and questionable.
Yeah, it was a doc that basically said you have to run everything past Pete Hegseth during his sober hours. It was a no takey backsies document. And so the entire the entire Pentagon press corps walked. It was a very
you
took a
had
picture.
Fox News even going like, this is ridiculous. But Lindell TV and a bunch of influencers were like, we're fine. We're in there.
Yeah, they even had last week, it was Laura Loomer and a bunch of the other ones. They all just kept posing and keep claiming that they were the one inside the Washington Post reporter's cubicle. To which that one Washington Post reporter had to even post, like, you guys need to fight amongst yourself because you've now all posted a different cubicle claiming it was mine. And then he would tell them exactly whose cubicle they were in. But they had their first press conference, and for some reason out of nowhere, Matt Gaetz was there, which was just a terrifying jump scare. I would say Matt Gaetz of blank fame, but I don't want us to get demonetized for what he did with an unhoused teenager who was working at a McDonald's who needed money for braces. That's not alleged, I don't think, anymore, right? That's just like straight up in congressional record.
I constantly go back and forth between do I pull on the reins? Because one of my favorite things that got clipped last week was me going like, Alex, the thing that you said, you mean hypothetically?
Oh,
you mean,
yeah. About drone striking.
You were like, we should, I mean, if you were serious about it, you should drone strike the Sacklers. And I was like, I mean, in Minecraft?
Yeah, we didn't hit it in Minecraft. But yeah, I mean, listen, Matt Gaetz is there, a former congressman, former, for I think 2 weeks, nominee for Attorney General of the United States. He was there in the crowd. And then a series of other, like, what I can only describe as young boys. It was just like younger guys, many of which are famous for being clowned on the internet and then yelling that they're truly journalists, were there. Plus Laura Loomer. Laura Loomer from the famous for being from the backseat of that one limo with Donald Trump. And they were all there together. And it's just like such a laughable moment we're stuck in here, right? It's this idea of like, a lot of people have been talking about it, the American century of humiliation. We're getting in, and like it's all self-owns over and over and over again. Oh, look at me. I got the FIFA Prize Prize. I stopped 8 wars. 8 wars. Sure, 4 of the countries that I list in here, I've said I was not involved whatsoever and in fact made it worse. And we just killed 80 people in the Gulf of America, but I'm the peace president. Like, this is just like, it's such a joke.
It boggles my mind how, like, if you get past the moment of, if you're fans of a lot of these right-wing influencers of like, oh, they're in there, this makes them legit or anything. But yeah, I feel like if you take a second to just look at it from the slightest different angle of, do you not see how hand in hand these so-called independent thinkers are with this administration, that they would kick out anything that would oppose them and bring in people that are in now? And how would you view that as anything other than like, oh, this is just, they have a different swamp in there, right? They literally are signing documents that are preventing them, if they want to continue having access, from doing real journalism. It is the craziest thing. That, I mean, once again, no, it's not crazy. It's not surprising. How about this? It is not surprising. It is still crazy. And we have to acknowledge that. Also, the last thing I'll say is regarding Matt Gaetz. I feel like he has had, as far as the right-wing space, the hardest fall off from a place where he seemed pretty strong. Then I think the closest thing to that would be maybe Madison Cawthorn. But that was like kind of minor as far as them being kind of such a big force.
Whoa, watch the word minor there. Yeah, that moment when you remember you still haven't booked that doctor's appointment, and suddenly your entire body starts hurting out of spite. Stop the spite. It's so easy now because of today's sponsor, ZocDoc. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors and click to instantly book an appointment. With ZocDoc, you search by specialty, insurance, or symptoms and instantly see local doctors with verified patient reviews. Not cryptic 5-star ratings from someone named User473. Best part, you can book appointments as early as today. No guesswork, no games, no, we'll put you on a list nonsense. I use ZocDoc because it saves me from myself. I've booked appointments while eating lunch, procrastinating, even mid-scroll. It takes just seconds. You can see everything up front. Availability, bedside manner, wait times, all from real human reviews. ZocDoc has urgent care, dentists, therapists, and specialists. So whatever body part is currently acting up, there's someone you can book fast. Millions of users rely on it because it works, it's simple, and it turns the worst adult chore into something you can knock out before your coffee cools. Stop putting off those doctor's appointments. Scan the QR code or go to ZocDoc.com/crashing out to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/crashing out. ZocDoc.com/crashing out. You know, Phil, I don't want to go into the if Biden did this or if Obama did this, that the media would spend the rest of the year talking about it, even though we don't have much left in the year. But the one thing that did happen during the Trump FIFA Peace Prize moment is he had a whole little speech he gave about how the NFL shouldn't call itself football, and that actually, when you look at it, soccer's the real football because all they use is feet. So that's why they should be. And there was a moment there where I actually got my back went up. My hackles got hacked. I got full on. I just started screaming, "What are you talking about?" Like at the screen. What are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on we're done with soccer? It's now football, and the NFL needs to call, I guess, the National Concussion League, the NCL is maybe what we should go with.
I was surprised he said it, but also not, because it's anytime we get into a moment where someone's like awarding him with something, I think we get to see a little bit of what Donald Trump is like behind the scenes, where everyone's like, oh, he's so open and he's like so cordial and he's actually a great guy to be with. Where he just they gave him an award and he's like, football's not real, or the NFL's not real. I'm gonna talk about hand egg.
Saquon Barkley, who I've never heard of him. I hate Saquon Barkley now. I'm a Ronaldo guy. Like instantly, it was so crazy.
But no, I mean, you do have to. I mean, I don't know. I remember talking to some of the Pod Save guys on the In Good Faith podcast, and one of my questions is like, do you ever get tired of thinking like if Obama did this? Because you got to see like what happened to like quote unquote your guy anytime he did even like the most minor thing, whether
the
one of the famous ones.
Everyone
is the tan
keeps bringing up the
suit.
tan suit, the mustard. Remember he wanted Dijon mustard. That was a big one. I'm also sick of it. I'm also sick of like this. It's not even a mental exercise anymore. It actually is a form of self-flagellation. Like that's what. Imagine if Biden said, no, I don't want to, because first thing it would be stuttering, and then he would have said the wrong name. But like in general with it, it's I don't need to imagine. We're living through this moment. I would like more people just to acknowledge the moment we're in. And yeah, we're also purposely picking this little stupid thing because then we aren't talking about the fact that he has masked men grabbing random women off the street and beating them. Like it's like we're trying to keep your spirits up while you're at work, everybody. Like that's kind of where it is. And I think that's part of where the imagine what if Obama did this, imagine if Biden did this feeling comes from. Because it's like, oh, it also makes you like nostalgic and wistful for the days of being like, remember terrorist fist jab? I feel like I'm the only person who remembers that. You remember that one?
What are you talking about? No.
Terrorist fist jab? There was a moment. All right, I think this was a Megyn Kelly special. There was a moment, I think it was either before Obama was elected or right after he was elected. He and Michelle fist bumped. They did a fist bump. And Megyn Kelly, I believe, or somebody at Fox News, said that it was a terrorist fist jab. That was them bumping knuckles.
Right.
Like a thing that I do with my toddler. I'm like, ooh, bump my knuckles. I do a whole thing with them, a whole song and dance. And the New Yorker actually released a cover where I think Barack Obama was dressed as like a Mujahideen fighter, bumping knuckles with Michelle Obama. Oh yeah, I'm gonna pull it up. I'm gonna have to pull it up and put it in the chat because I can't. The fact that you don't remember it also just shows me that my brain is a sponge that is only full of horrific facts.
Yeah, I feel like mine is more like the normie, even though I do this as a job, is closer to normie American voter, where it's just like whatever happened in the last 36 hours is where my head is at. Because it's like even us talking about like, oh, he called it football and like that, like, I don't know, my mind's automatically now on like Trump being interviewed and not like not ruling out a ground invasion of Venezuela, and I'm just like,
you're talking about another Peace Prize?
Getting
a ground invasion? That's me, WWE Hall of Famer. That's right, the WWE Hall of Fame Peace Prize that's been brought to all of us here. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna be the WWE Peace Prize, and it's gonna be an amazing time. It's me and Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. We're going to battle it out for the W. And let me tell you what's great about this Peace Prize. It's full of snacks. That's right. We have Rice Krispie treats, and we have gummies and a Red Bull. People said I was low energy. They said I'm falling asleep. How could I? The WWE Peace Prize brought to you by Red Bull. Not a sponsor, but they could be if they weren't cowards.
God, if you're just an audio listener, you're missing out on so many great bits.
Yeah, so many great bits. I'm trying to describe what I'm doing every single time. This was a Quizzo award, by the way, that I won. This was a Quizzo award I won from a Zoom call during the pandemic Christmas party for my old job.
Every part of that sentence sounded so sad.
It is. It is. We played. Our Christmas party was a Quizzo that I set up. Then I won, and then everyone accused me of cheating, and then they gave me this little award, and I said, "Oh,
dude,
I'm a
you have
millennial.
no
I need
idea.
awards."
When we go to trivia nights, if a team is doing too good, we're the FBI. We're like, where are the phones? Who's got the headphone? Is there an Apple Watch involved?
Apple Watch. I didn't even think about the Apple Watch. I hate quiz. I'm not great
Dude,
at quiz though.
There was a guy that would be like, he'd like whisper questions into his fucking watch.
For real?
Yes.
This is okay. This is such empty. I hate this. This is such a world of cheating that is like so horrible. Now it's the same thing with like finding out half of all college essays are now ChatGPT. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those type of things. It's like, don't you want to feel like a winner? Like, don't you want your awards to be legitimate? Like my Peace Prizes here. Like I want all of these fair and square. The fact that somebody is yelling into their watch.
I think there's more Trumps in this world that are like, give me the shiny thing over all other things.
Well, I think the thing that is there only needs to be one in any contest for it to immediately not feel legitimate, right? If there's one person, and then you end up in the prisoner's dilemma. Well, I think that guy over there is cheating, so now I have to cheat. And so then the entire contest for an empty bar prize, which is going to be like maybe a $25 Chipotle gift card, right? Like that's usually what Bar Quizzo, I haven't done Bar Quizzo in a very long time because I have a toddler who coughs on me directly into my mouth, and then I sound like this all episode.
No, thank you. Also, thank you for coming in sick. I mean, I am better than everyone else since I am the only person that I know that has not gotten sick in the last 3 weeks, but I appreciate you still coming in.
Well, that's because you follow.
See, even that, I want an award for my immune system. I'm like,
you want an immune system award?
Yeah,
I have one granola bar. Speaking of immune systems, MAHA had a big moment this week.
Was it a really big moment?
MAHA? This is my transition, okay? Because I want to talk about the Secretary of Trans, Sean Duffy, Trans Secretary. He showed up at an airport with RFK Jr. and they had a big idea, Phil. And let's take a look at the big idea that they had right here. And we'll play a quick little video. We're going to insert a little video here of them.
Yes, sir. 1, 2, 3. Wait. 4. Yeah, looks good. Yeah. 2, 3. 4.
Wow, so big and strong.
Yep. That is the Secretary of Transportation and RFK Jr. saying they're going to put up pull-up bars in airports and train stations across America to get the blood moving. That's their big thought on how to fix the planes falling out of the sky. Maybe if all of us do more pull-ups, we can hold the plane in the air, I guess.
But that's like, I get so torn on it because it's like, okay, their idea of like a stronger America is like, hey, look at these dudes doing fitness shit, but then like
literal
at the same
strongman. We're gonna do literal strongman stuff.
But then it's like then we're paying attention to that and not like dropping universal newborn hepatitis B vaccine recommendations. Like we're not talking about Trump calling for a new vaccine schedule and what that might mean. And I'm nervous for parents of kids that are your age that are and newborns, because it's like we are entering this world of who knows what kind of doctor you're going to have and what the recommendations are going to be and what that's going to mean for the future health. Because like my kids, they're 8 and 11. They've gone through the biggest cycles as far as vaccines, and I'm just how what a minefield that's going to be for a lot of parents.
No, 100%. It was for us when, our son was almost 1 when Donald Trump won election and then announced that RFK Jr. was going to become the man in charge of the vaccines. So we went to our doctor and we said, you stick this kid with whatever needle you have in this building right now. Okay? I don't care. You just stick him. Stick this kid. Just stick him. And I think we've gotten the most important ones. That you get, I think, are under 2. I think that first year is like you want to bang out a bunch, but also having a December baby in general, it's like we've always been dealing with like a pretty germy time, especially as everybody kind of knows now after having lived through COVID and the big lockdown side of COVID, which is like the Christmas parties are where you get sick. The get-togethers were the first time where everybody's indoors or people are traveling from all over the country. So, before he had his first round of shots and stuff like that, we had to be very careful around that first Christmas and things like that. And all newborn parents, I think, have that general fear. The other thing is actually having a toddler explained a lot of the vaccine hesitancy is one word term we'll use a lot to me. Because I'll never forget when my baby boy got his first shot in front of me. We went to the pediatrician and they gave him his first shot. I don't even remember what it was. I just said whatever. I know what you're gonna say. The nurse, like, it's so funny now because now when I was a kid, they would literally turn to my mom and be like, we're going to give him tetanus or whatever shot. And mom would be like, okay. Like, that was it. And now they have this whole song and dance they have to do. Like, okay, so we're going to leave some documentation here about some shots that we could possibly do with your thing and blah, blah, blah. And there was a very much like this hesitancy. And so every time when the doctors or the nurses would come in, I literally would look at them and go, RFK Jr. is a fucking monster. And they'd be like, oh, thank God. We can pretend it's 1998. I'm like, we can pretend it's 1998. We're not afraid of any shots.
Yeah.
But I'll remember when he got his first shot and they put it in his little, little chunky newborn baby thigh. And I watched his face curl up and cry. And my immediate reaction was, I need to punch this nurse in the face because they made my baby cry. But like he immediately he stopped crying because he got shocked. It was a pinch. It feels uncomfortable. And now like he's fine with it and everything else. But like there is a whole thing about needle hesitancy with vaccines and that like fear and that visceral response you have. Like I understand where it comes from at a primal level. At a logical level, though, I'm like, you're a fucking moron. Does that make sense?
No, it absolutely makes sense. I mean, and I think any parent can attest to this. Like anything with your kids, you're 10 times more concerned about than anything with you, right? It's like, it's just one of those things where it's like you are ultimately the person that's responsible for this new life that's here. And you have like the quick emotional reactions. And I think that's why fear has been such an effective tool in scaring parents away, because it's like if you can make anything seem bad or like you would be a bad parent, you have one of two reactions. It's either people immediately conform or they push heavily against it. But I mean, I can't even imagine right now, like I said, having a newborn because I got a new doctor in the last year, and when I went in to get a checkup and I got like my flu shot when the COVID vaccine came up. It became like her not knowing where I was and like dancing or like walking on
Meanwhile,
eggshells.
you're wearing a cowboy hat and you were just cleaning a gun. You're like, tell me all about it.
Tell me all about it. But no, she was like, and there, if you, so we don't have them here, but if you go there, there's also this one that doesn't involve mRNA. And I was like, I'm not one of those. Don't. She's like, okay. So you could get, and so I can't, once again, it's like, I don't know how anyone navigates it. If you're, if you're a doctor and you're just like, oh my God, is this fucking patient going to lose their mind on me because I'm going to give them what I think are the best recommendations? Also, if you're a doctor, oh gosh, are these people going to go after me? I don't know. It's a nightmare.
It is a nightmare, but I think the thing is that we can look at is I want to issue a challenge right now, which is I want to see you go pull up for pull up against RFK. I feel like we got Phil Daddy Body, because I want to let you know something, Phil. One of our last clips that went, the George Santos clip went very viral, and I got messages from a lot of people asking, and I quote, "Who is that daddy you're talking to?" And I said, his name is Phil DeFranco. He's been famous for 20 years. How are you just finding out about him now? And they said, I don't watch this type of content, but I watch him. And then I said, follow him. You can see his thirst traps. And now they've been very let down. You have not kept up on the thirst trap bargain.
I need to start shooting the show without a shirt, because I'm surprised you got that comment on that clip, because the only thing I could think of when I was watching that clip is I looked like a semi-attractive lesbian, because I didn't have any gel in my hair. It was very feathered, and I was like, I look like the biggest soft boy.
You were Phil DeMatteau.
So your comment, when you forwarded me that text, I was like, okay, dodged a bullet. Gotta get back to it.
Yeah. No, but now I'm also hearing you dodge the question, which is, will you go pull up for pull up against RFK Jr. if the contest was to ever come up?
Give me a month. I don't even know how many pull ups I can do right now, because all my workouts. All my workouts are through this tonal machine. So yeah.
Got it. Okay. And then we also need to make sure that I think we also need to choose the doping agency to find out which HGH RFK is on. So then you can at least match him there. That man does him in jeans. He's in jeans and he has skin that looks like a hot dog.
But
like,
he does
crazy.
He does everything in jeans. This is branding. This is our industry.
Yeah, it's weird branding. Speaking of which, The Harvest. Okay, no, that's just for anyone who has been listening to the show from the beginning, just had a visceral reaction.
The Harvest.
Yeah, Olivia Nuzzi's book did come out, and so much like RFK, we're done with her.
We'll get back to the pod in just a minute, but first let me say, apparently Gmail passwords are now on the dark web, like they're hosting a yard sale. Lightly used, slightly compromised, $1 or best off. And this is the kind of crazy actively happening, and the reason why you need today's sponsor, Incogni. Researchers confirmed a massive leak exposing 183 million accounts, including verified Gmail usernames and passwords. And even if yours wasn't stolen directly, reusing a password once, it means hackers can jump into your emails, socials, even banking. But Incogni, they fight that by contacting data brokers, demanding they delete your information and keeping it gone automatically. Or their custom removal feature even handles shady sites where your data pops up. And Incogni does it automatically, contacting brokers, pushing removals, and handling the back and forth that you don't have time for. Also, their new custom removal feature and unlimited and family unlimited plans, it lets you flag people's search sites or sketchy listings, and their privacy agents wipe them out. I mean, I checked my dashboard out and dozens of brokers already had my information. And then watching those removals hit, it feels like digital pest control. And leaks like Netcore, it proves why this matters. One exposed profile is enough for phishing, identity theft, or fraud. Hey, protect yourself before your data ends up in the next big leak. Just go to incogni.com/crashingout and use code crashingout for 60% off. That's incogni.com/crashingout, code crashingout. Okay, well, jumping to a new topic, I gotta ask, did you see that Trump appears to maybe have for the first time openly regretted a choice? He's openly regretting a pardon.
Oh, yeah. No, I saw this when the Congress, is it a Texas congressman?
Yeah, Democrat from Texas. It's Henry Cuellar. Yeah. We talked about him yesterday.
This is incredible. I love this because I saw it pop up. Like when you go on your, you close your browser, right? It hits you with like a little bit of like recent pop-up news. They were like, Trump pardons a congressman. I said, oh, okay, that won't come up again. Who gives a shit? And then it immediately kept coming up. He was a Democrat. Trump pardoned a Democrat, which was incredible. Everyone's like, oh my God, what's he doing? And then I immediately thought he might be like, there's a couple Democrats he's pardoned in the past who immediately became Republicans or joined his side, or then from there forward, they will always back him. But not this dude. This dude did it. That's
the question is like, okay, so is it an opportunity where there's actually more at play and it's 4D chess, or did Trump just get played here? Because I don't know how deep into this you saw, but
I have
a big reason that it looks like Cuellar got this pardon is because his daughters were reaching out to Trump and his administration, and like they're very much like he's like, it was like kind of the one of the good ones argument, right? They said, their father's, quote, independence and honesty may have contributed to how this case began. They referenced it to him being thinking that he's been attacked, right? I mean, we've even seen him pardon other presidents where he's like, I know what it's like to be a president and they're going after you. And they said, oh, he went against Biden's border policies and a corrupt Biden administration. They went after him and he was like, oh, so he's going to be one of ours. And then he pardons him. And then immediately Cuellar is like, hey, I'm pardoned, clean slate. I'm still running as a Democrat. And he's like, fuck fuck this guy. Trump was like, what?
He'll probably vote for Trump's impeachment. He might be the one vote needed next year. That would be so good.
Beautiful scripting.
This is incredible. The playbook, by the way, that you're describing is the exact playbook that the Chrisleys, Savannah Chrisley, used to get Todd.
This is everyone. Yeah, so this is everyone.
Yeah.
When I was talking to, I don't know if they necessarily understood what I did beforehand, and I'm not going to ever like name names, but how openly they talk about and confirm that it is what many Democrats and liberals say, that you just you pamper him and love him and whatever. And if that doesn't work, you make the internet and MAGA, like certain influencers, turn against him, and he fucking folds.
Yeah,
it's
Trump always
crazy.
chickens out. It's wild. We've been saying it since the beginning of this show. At least I've been saying it, and you've been nodding along, which has been that this is a highly SEO administration. It's search engine optimized. They care about influencers. Trump has always been a Twitter president more than anything else. He can claim that he's over on True Social, but he is retruthing pictures of screenshots of tweets and TikToks and other different things. He cares heavily about what the internet thinks because he believes that understanding the internet means understanding America. But what's happened is that people have learned you can just make the internet say whatever you want. As we played on last week's episode, the guy from the Cattlemen's Association talking about buying the right influencers and buying the right botnets and creating these things. Elon Musk literally bought Twitter so that way he could influence the Trump administration and the electorate. In doing so, he actually broke Twitter because I think less regular people now trust what they see from Twitter than anything else. But inside all of this stuff, it's a very deep care on that. Going back to the Chrisleys, Savannah Chrisley, her parents, Todd, and I can't remember his wife's name, Todd Chrisley from Chrisley Knows Best. They were arrested for wire fraud and a bunch of other different stuff, bank fraud and other things. Went to federal jail. She went heavy into the MAGA stuff. She went heavy into becoming a MAGA influencer, made sure that she was inside of all the different Trump circles, made sure she knew how to get into the SEO, all these different things. She basically showed everybody the blueprint. If you want a Trump pardon, you make sure you do these different things. And a big part was the Biden went after me. I look at how my family was oppressed the same way the Trump family was oppressed. Oh, you understand this story. This is the exact thing you faced when Letitia James was sitting there inside the courtroom, staring at the back of the head while you farted and fell asleep. Like all these different things are references that they'll bring up. And he just goes, oh my God. And that's the reason why I'm the greatest peace president there's ever been. I am the Trump peace president. I got big gold from WCW. That's me, the peace president. And that's why, as the Prince of Peace, I need to grant you a pardon. I pardon you, Representative Cuellar. Is it Cuellar? How do I pronounce this? I don't care. Representative Cuellar, you're now not only pardoned, you're a Republican. And then the fact that the guy went, no take backsies. Fuck off is incredible. I love it. Can I tell you, this Democrat went from I hate you as much as I hated Bob Menendez and John Fetterman to this is now my favorite Democrat. I want every Democrat to be whatever. I don't care what crime he committed. I don't care. This is how heartless you need to be, okay? I see a lot of people screaming about Texas and Jasmine Crockett and Tallarico and all these. No. This guy should be your senator. He played every side. He beat 2 presidents at their own game. That's how you become champion, okay? I'm backing Representative Cuellar as the whatever. Representative, he's cool. He's cool under all circumstances. He gets the Pearlmania stamp of endorsement.
I can't wait till next week where it's like, and he committed 10 more crimes.
Oh, whatever. Cool crimes, okay? He committed the coolest crimes, and his daughters will just convince Trump it's a different guy.
I love that. Dude, so I will say, though, as far as what's happening on the right, though, I've been kind of watching it as a new form of entertainment of the Republican infighting that's been happening now. I loved, I'm probably not as much as you, the Cuellar situation, but seeing that.
As you explained it to me, I've loved it even more because it was one of those ones where I saw it and went, I don't care. And then as you're describing it, by the way, I look like I'm a guest on the Pat McAfee show now.
I need to wear a fucking tank top. That's what it is. And be standing the entire time. That's how we'll do next week's
yelling.
Show.
Let's hear for them dogs.
Hey. Say what you want about Pat McAfee. He is a very good entertainer. If I'm watching something on Saturday.
He's a very good entertainer.
I question who he is as a person. Like a lot of people.
He had an NXT match. He has a WrestleMania match.
Oh, so you're like you're sold in.
I don't listen. I'm learning from you of where to draw the lines of, is this person entertaining or good?
Oh yeah. Well,
there's no middle ground anymore of like, you can be entertaining, but there's certain ones where like, there's times where you're like, we're gonna let that one slide. You know
Alex
what I mean?
is like, I'm playing the remix to Ignition. I don't fucking care.
Every now and then you need a bop, okay? Every now and then you need a bop. If I went down every single celebrity that has let me down in 2025, I would be left with I think Sabrina Carpenter. That's about it. I think I'm left with Sabrina Carpenter at this point. Because short and sweet star Sabrina Carpenter defeated the White House this week in 3 days. She did it faster. Sabrina Carpenter has more wins over the White House than Chuck Schumer this year. I just want to point that out.
It's in a weird place though, because she got them to like, she super ratioed to a degree the White House in a way I've never seen on Twitter. They deleted the tweet, but now like they're continuing to post because I think they know that like no one expects anything but pettiness and stupidity from the White House. Yeah, and so but like they're trying to continue it. And I think that it looks pathetic, and anyone that's like cheering it on looks pathetic now because she just rocked their shit and now she's doing other stuff.
Can I tell you right now, of you just saying, a Clipper's going to go nuts of you saying they look pathetic, and they're going to cut back to me holding 2 belts and a crown.
Well, I see the caption. You have no idea how this video is going to end.
No idea. It just cuts. No, I think the White House truly is pathetic, Phil. I think they're a bunch of pathetic losers who hold on to fake prizes, who want to be petty mean girls, okay? All right, that's what it comes down to. I mean, at the end of the day, let's look at Carolyn Leavitt right now. Let's look at I think she's 28 now, which as Jeffrey Epstein would say, old. But she is she's going to have to, after this administration, she's going to be like with her kid one day, like driving around in a minivan, and Sabrina Carpenter's going to come on and she's going to be changing. And the kid's going to be like, oh, I like that song, Mom. She's like, no, Sabrina Carpenter's evil. And it's going to be Man-Eater or whatever the song was. Man-Child. It's just so, they're so petty and I love it. But also I think it both speaks to why you can push back on them, right? Sabrina Carpenter, ratioed the fuck out of them. I think at last I looked, it had 1.7 million likes, her telling him stop using my music. But also speaks to why some people wouldn't, because look how vindictive they're getting at her on these specific things. I mean, I would not put it past them next year to be targeting if there's anybody on Sabrina's tour that needs a work visa, right? Or if there's anybody on her tour as she's traveling, trying to get through Border Patrol or things like that. Like, I actually wouldn't put it past them to put her on a target list the same way we've seen them put certain streamers or certain content creators on there,
right?
Whether or not she needs to make sure her taxes are double looked at, to the point where there's been this chilling effect that has happened across not only social media, but mainstream media, of people who are totally afraid of speaking out, because there also is kind of like, remember the Blair Witch movie? Like, it's that idea of like what could happen more than what you're actually seeing, which is why, a lot of people with Sabrina Carpenter pushing back immediately said, hey, Taylor, it's not that hard. To Nintendo, hey, Nintendo, it's not that hard. Look at how you can win this and actually come out stronger. And I'm like, we don't know if that's true yet, because there's still a long list of history for people to know whether or not she is truly a champion, like I am, of crashing out.
I'm listening to your points, and I'm like, valid. And then meanwhile, you're the champ. And I can't help but smile.
I'm the king of kings. I'm the winner.
Yeah. But here's what I'll say.
I'm so literally sick right now.
With all the stuff that you were talking about, this is a big part of why I have enjoyed, and a big thing of just kind of highlighting that it's happening, of the right-wing influencers going after each other. Because there was a moment in time where I was like, oh, there's going to be like this great unification of the right after what happened with Charlie Kirk, that they were going to like unite, and I was like, what the hell is this thing going to look like? Meanwhile, what's happened is that they've just gone after each other's. I was going to say a different thing, and it was going to sound like an intentional pun. They were going after each other, and
they're going after each other's fan bases. Actually,
the fan bases is really it. But then like, I mean, to a place where I don't know, like Milo Yiannopoulos is getting called out by George Santos on a podcast for saying that Benny Johnson is gay, and you've got Tim Pool and Candace Owens going after each other, and Candace's response is pray for Tim, he's emotional, which I know is probably just setting him off even more. And it's just you
got Tucker and Nick Fuentes doing the will they won't they moment. You have the entire time Crowder is in the background just begging that make sure nobody ever brings up his wife. Like, there's so many moments that are happening here. I mean, the big thing is that what I've noticed as you're kind of getting into is the one thing that I've noticed that's really come up this week has been Tim Pool and Candace Owen. Both are having the somebody tried to kill me off. Where like Candace has been claiming this stuff about French assassins. Yes. Tim Pool came out this week saying that somebody took a shot at his home. We don't have
I think it might have been studio,
proof.
But yeah.
At studio, was that a studio? They said.
I think it was studio. I'd have to double check.
I think he has a compound, right? He has like a compound somewhere.
Yeah,
and then all these guys have compounds.
One of his things was talking about like, it's one of those things where with a lot of these guys, it's hard to tell what is real versus not real, and I mean that in a sense of. Not the shot. I think he'd have to be crazy to lie about that, but I'm never gonna say
they're calling him Timmy Smollett.
Oh no.
I'm dead serious.
But
right wing,
like,
this is right wing influencers are calling him Timmy Smollett now. I mean, like, this is where we are. Like, I didn't make up that term. This is what the other people are saying about him.
So that's the thing though, is like then he talks about like they have money troubles because of how much money is being spent on security, and with what we've seen with a number of people on the right, I'm like, how much of that is true as far as money troubles? Granted, he's seemingly not getting the money that I believe was coming from Russia through another company,
$100K a week,
right? Where it's like, yeah, totally, my show's fucking worth that. Insane.
Yeah.
Like,
but then people look at the numbers.
Question marks. Yeah, but like,
but that's
so he's talking about
is for the amount of just talking about Tim Pool alone.
Yeah,
the amount, because you have experience with this for the staff size you have, right, and the view counts that you have. Like, I think he has something like 30 people on staff. If you were just to do a quick once glance over on what he has, like, he doesn't have the income, the revenue stream to support something of that size. Like, that's kind of where at least it seems like, unless there are back end deals happening.
Yes. Okay. I was going to say right wing creators are in a much different space. There are a lot of more like very rich, not influencers, but very rich people that will funnel money into a show that they ideologically agree with, that I do not or have not seen happen on more centrist or left leaning shows.
So on the right, what happens is that you end up in a situation where a billionaire sees a show or sees an organization like the Daily Wire, and they go, oh, these guys will make sure that nobody believes climate change is real. Me, a oil billionaire, I'm going to dump a bunch of money to prop them up so that way they can last longer. They're just like, we love what you're doing. Here's more money. And then there's the implication of this money will disappear if you speak out against XYZ because you know where these guys are coming from. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I think, yeah. So I think it then ties back into, so I'm not saying that anything, I'm not going to feed into the was it Tim Poolette? Is that what they were calling him?
They called him Tim Smollett.
Tim Smollett. So I'm
like,
not
remember Jussie Smollett?
But yeah. I think that there is a big thing of like, never let anything go untaken advantage of. So like he was referencing like the business isn't viable because I'm spending so much money on security, but emergency meetings are happening. And so like it felt very much like, and there might be a deal. I think if I remember correctly, but don't tie me to it, I think we saw kind of a similar thing, and like we're being cracked down on from, who is the guy with the questionable history with his wife that you mentioned?
Benny Johnson.
No,
Benny
the other one.
The other one. Steven Crowder.
Steven Crowder. So he was like, we're getting cracked down on, and so it was like a way to launch his like mug club through Rumble, and it was like this like big sort of thing. So it's one of those things where it's like, how much of this is a play? Everything feels like a play, but obviously we saw with Charlie Kirk, that there are very real things that happen and that it's not, in the world that we should be nervous of and scared of.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know.
I find it interesting though. This always seems to happen around Q4 with the right wing. It's always end of year Q4. So like you mentioned Steven Crowder, because I mentioned him earlier. Remember, he had a whole falling out with Candace Owens, the Daily Wire, and everybody because he wanted $50 million for his show. And then Ben Shapiro came forward and was like, your show, and same thing with the other guy over there, Jeremy Borash. Or Jeremy Boring, I don't remember. They're very dull.
Oh yeah,
people.
I think it's boring. Yeah.
Yeah, he came forward and was like, "Hey, your show's not worth $50 million." And they had like the back and forth on those different things over there. Like, I think the numbers that some of these guys live in are just ridiculous, and they want insane numbers because they've had billionaire sugar daddies who will come in and will prop them up. That's just how, and so they think they're worth more than they truly are. When you actually go and look at some of these counts, when you look at the numbers on Rumble, you look at the numbers on YouTube, you look at the podcast reviews on iTunes and Spotify, and you're just like, the numbers just aren't there. And so their influence really is being pushed into an outside view where people are like, oh, this is what it looks like. It's like, no, it isn't. And that's why they need to fill themselves with fake awards.
I was going to say, I would argue almost a little bit of the opposite of, I think things that outside of that right-wing ecosystem might be undervalued right now, because I think, rich people have realized the impact that a lot of these shows have and where eyes are going. And I mean, it was connected to the first story today, but YouTube is like the number one thing on TV that's being played on TVs. So it's where the eyes are. It's where culture is being impacted the most, whether it be through that main show or really more and more these days the clips, because everyone's attention span's fucking dying. But I think that it's interesting it's going to be very interesting to see play out. But I think, unless you have any reservations, because I know you're like, can we make this a 2-hour show even though I'm sick? I think we could close out on some questions from the Crashing Out audience.
Yes, and we get these questions from YouTube, we get them from Spotify, and we get them from the Apple Podcast reviews. If you leave us a 5-star review and say, question for the show, to open it. And we have quite a few here. Starting off, I don't have where they're from, so I'm going to assume these first two are from YouTube. Starting off, we have Mother of Demons wrote, can we have George Santos on again?
My best friend. My best friend, George Santos.
Yes.
When you think of George Santos, think of Philip DeFranco.
Yeah. It's so funny. So there's a couple of things. First thing I actually found out because now that I'm on Cameo, I found out that we got George Santos on a flash sale. George Santos, that Cameo cost $100. His usual rate is $400. And then I discovered, through doing cameos myself, it's all like weirdly an urgency grift. So that's what, of course, George Santos is good at it. Yeah. So basically you set a super high number and then you put yourself on sale. So that way for a certain amount of time. So when people look at you, they go, oh, he's only $100 for 48 hours. And then you want to pour in, which is a famous thing with grifters. But I actually recently found out that George Santos costs more to have on like a 1-hour podcast, and that he actually does have a going rate. It is... Yes, he has a going rate that I have heard of. And the rate is stupid. It's a dumb rate. It is. So every time you see George Santos on a podcast, that podcast has paid him. That's what I've been informed. So that's what people are telling me.
This is such a weird thing for me to hear, because someone mentioned like, hey, to me over the weekend, like, hey, looking at 2026 for In Good Faith, like, are you willing to pay for guests? And I was like, absolutely not. No.
Yeah.
I was like that changes the entire relationship. I was like, we do outreach, but people also reach out to us of like, hey, this is a thing that we want to talk about. If anything, we usually, it's more of a conversation of, okay, let's not do like I did 10 minutes with Senator Warren today, rather than like 60 minutes, where it's like, I think that there is an actual conversation that could be had. So no, I don't know, that bugs me. It makes me kind of question a lot of, I don't know.
It's payola. It's literally payola. Like, that's crazy to me. Is like it's why, like, I've been doing podcasts off and on since 2007. Yeah. I've been a guest on many shows. I've had a few offer to pay me after booking and let me know that they do it as a some shows do it as a like equity share. You know what I mean? They're like, hey, this show might do a little bit better because you're on it. We want to give you a cut, or at least pay you for your time. And like, I appreciate that. And it's always been like $100. But I've never gone to a show and been like, if you want the Pearlmania 500 brand on here, you need to chalk up 10,000. Like, it's never happened. And like, to me, it's like, it's such an insane thing. In general, the one thing I get often is there are PR firms that will send me SEO generated ChatGPT statements that are like, John Smith, we loved your recent episode where you said you should drone strike the Sacklers. That's why we think John Smith will be a great fit for your podcast, Crashing Out. And I'm like, what? How the fuck did you get my email? That's usually how I spend most of the time doing that. But yeah, that's why I was shocked when somebody told me how much George Santos, because he talked about like a friend of mine I ran into at a party was like, yeah, I was thinking about having George Santos on because I saw your clip. So I reached out and they hit me with this, and I'm like, I think it might have been a negotiation. Maybe they started super high and been like, I'll give you a Jersey Mike's gift card. Might have been the true response.
So here's what I'll say. So for me, I'm like, no, I wouldn't have George Santos on again. But I want to ask you, because my gut was immediate no. I've had certain people disagree with me. Someone that I spoke with recently said that, and this person wasn't even on our radar. They said they could get Marjorie Taylor Greene on for my podcast. And my gut was immediately like, no, I don't think that, I don't know. I don't know. My gut said no, but maybe I'm thinking about things the wrong way. And I wanted to throw this at you.
So we've talked about this. All right, you talking about now? So in this question, is that for In Good Faith or for Crashing Out? Because
it would
two
be In Good Faith, because I think that it would be.
You can't have a good faith conversation with Marjorie Taylor Greene, so it immediately negates the title of your show, like instantly.
For that one, we revert back to the old title, just a conversation with.
A conversation with? Sure, great. Then it works. Then have her on. No, I think that like. I think that talking to somebody like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who was about to, I guess, leave the political stage. She was just on 60 Minutes. She's just doing all these different things. Whether or not she comes back as part of the America First Party or whatever, we don't really know. I think it's really up to you about whether or not you can't have a comfortable conversation. I think it's inevitably a hostile conversation.
And I feel like that also needs to be in person, because there is a sense of, okay, so we're doing this, rather than someone can click a button and just be done. Or just something there. I don't know. I haven't had like an interview that goes hostile. I've held feet to fire, pushed, but I haven't had anything like that in years. And so I don't know. I look at one of those things where, I don't know. I feel like maybe eventually, but I don't know. Right now, I wouldn't trust that we would get what we should get out of it.
I wouldn't want her on this show. That's for sure. Because it would just be me screaming.
I'd be scared in the corner. I'd be like, ah.
Yeah. I think if we ever did have guests on this show, I think we'd lean more towards entertainers, comedians, people who are trying to keep it a little bit lighter. I think for In Good Faith in general, I mean, you chose the name In Good Faith, so I think you'd want to have people on that you could have conversations. I think for Republicans, immediately I'm thinking of like more the governor side of things, the ones who are a little bit less involved in D.C., because D.C. automatically has that weirdness to it. Marjorie Taylor Greene, it feels like right now she's trying to set up for a podcast, a book, a YouTube series. Liz Truss is back. You know what I mean? Like there's these moments like that where you're like, oh, okay, there's the Matt Gaetz route that a bunch of them are now going to try to take, that he is trying to be a pioneer on, that I find weird.
Okay, next question up from YouTube. We have Dinger Health. This will be a fast one. Phil, what is your Waffle House order? It's just I go to Waffle House, not for waffles. 2 eggs, sunny side up, hash browns with double all veggies, and side of city ham, no toast. And I usually, like a psychopath, bring my own low carb, high fiber wraps that I either put stuff in or I rip apart in I have a little plastic baggie. I look like a psychopath. But I'm also not gonna be able to go that much lately. I went to the doctor and my cholesterol is high. And so
Can I tell you my order?
Yeah, what do you get?
Triple order of hash browns, covered, smothered, topped.
Covered, smothered. What's topped?
It is chili, onions, and cheese.
Oh, you go, okay. That's a different meal.
I just give me a big old slop plate. I like a slot plate.
I was like, that's a chili hash brown bowl.
yeah, that's what I want. I want a slot plate, and I want a spoon, and I want to eat it, and then I want to look at the person and go, "Why am I here?"
Yeah, no,
that's,
I mean, hey,
I've never gotten a waffle at Waffle House either.
Yeah, I think you're doing Waffle House right though, because I'm in there. I like I'm salvaging something. I'm lifting up my sunny side eggs. I got a napkin. I'm like wiping the excess butter off. Like I'm trying to.
Are you the type of person? Do you dab the pizza with a napkin before you bite
No.
the
So
slice?
that's it's singularly about Waffle House. I don't know why. But yeah, that's my go-to.
Okay. Last question we have here is from Megan Smith Landry from Spotify. And I think this is a question specifically for you, Phil, because I know it's not a question for me, being a peace champion of the world. Phil, how do you find the motivation to keep working out? How have your kids reacted to you getting in shape? My two littles say, quote, "Mama works out," unquote, and they imitate me picking up weights. LOL.
It's my most beneficial way of getting the hate out of my body, whether it be self-hate, hate for others. I think a lot of the most beneficial things you can do for yourself is expelling the poison in whatever ways you can. And so for me,
is that why you do pull-ups at the airport now?
That's why I'm just doing diamond push-ups on the ground and then eating a sandwich and then somehow not getting sick. I want to be able to do stuff with my kids, and I have one that is very, very, very athletic, and the other one still pretty good. But I want to be able to do stuff with them while I can. I have a constant love-hate relationship with everything. Like the amount of time I put into the job, I feel good about it when the shows are doing good, but when it's like kind of just wherever, or you have that off show, in my head I'm like, I traded that time for not doing fun stuff with my kids. So I want to being in shape is the thing that allows me to most be with them in those moments. And as far as their reaction, my youngest thinks it's cool. My other could care less, though he does. I will say he has really liked going on like my walks and less so runs with me. But I mean, I think here's what I'll bring it back to. I think with kids, the most important thing is never what you say, it is what you do, and not even necessarily do with them, just do in your life, because your kids are always watching. And so if you're mean or you're sweet to their mom, they're gonna see that. If they see that you're avoiding, or like you're on your phone instead of having a conversation with them, or with someone else, they see that. And so at the very least, my kids see that I'm thinking about like working out and my health, however that's going to impact them, it's going to impact them. I'm a big believer of nature versus nurture as far as the base of who a person is. So some might, like my kid might go like, "Oh, I want to be that," and others might go, like the other one might go like, "Okay, that's just something dad does and has no impact on my life." So the main thing is your kids are always watching. Keep that in mind.
No, and that's very, very true. For me, this show is actually the reason why I don't work out. Weirdly, so I was right before the show started. I started working out, and I had a Tuesday, Thursday kind of like I wanted to start there, and then we started recording the show on Tuesday. Mm-hmm. I know what you're thinking. Oh, Alex, get up extra early. Never. I've always been a nighttime, late afternoon workouter, because when I was in high school and I did karate, it was after school. So I've always been like, let me sleep as late as I can, get up, do whatever I am forced to do throughout the day. And then I want the workout to be pleasure. Like that's really what I want it to be. I want it to be something that I want to have fun at. Exactly. You're making a face right there. You look at working out as medicine. You look at it as how I only want to do things that are fun. And when I work out, it is fun. I like working out, and it's good. But I don't like doing it at 5 a.m. I don't like the idea of like getting up and like drinking a shake or doing those things. What you were saying though about kids, yes, 100% do the kids see you doing everything. For me though, right now, it is also about hearing. So I'm no longer allowed to curse in my house in front of the child anymore, because he is now starting to do the parrot thing where he just repeats back every word in toddler babble. And I don't need to hear a toddler say motherfucker. I just don't need it to happen at the daycare. I need that desperately to not be how they know me. So we're working on that right now. I think that's my workout for the year, is trying to curse less in front of the baby is where I'm at.
Yeah. No. Okay. So the reason I will say I made the face is that, yeah, there are certain people that get joy out of working out, and hey, I have those days, right? Especially if it's a low rep, high, big weight day. Love that. I hate like days like today, whereas like on the bench press, it's like, okay, do a weight that you can do 20 times, but you're feeling like you're going to fail the last 5. What I would say is, you don't have to stick to any specific thing, especially because, you're going out and doing shows, but we are privileged enough to work from home. So with working out, especially if you're going to do it by yourself, just do whatever you can to make it easy. I'm listening to a podcast, and a 45-minute workout is going to take an hour and a half, right? I'm going to stress myself, but I'm going to do something. If I'm with someone, totally different thing. Then it's like the bro energy kicks up, and then I'm like, I want to be strong.
And that's my problem. I don't have a gym buddy. I don't, number one, and number two, and I'm not moving to Georgia to get one. And number two,
you knew I was coming. Yeah,
I knew it was coming. And number two, I've looked at like personal trainer stuff just to get myself on a schedule. Just because if I'm paying somebody, $30 or $50 to meet me at a gym for a half hour, an hour, then I'm more likely to show up. I'm also one of those type of people that once I start working out, if I miss like 2 sessions in a row, we're done. Like it's just, I missed 2. Now it's going to take me too much to catch back up to where I was on Monday last week. So now I'm completely done with it. And it's just one of those things. So for me, it's really just scheduling toddler. And then every time I think about working out, my toddler coughs directly into my mouth and I'm sick for a week. So it's just one of those ones where I'm trying to lose weight the old-fashioned way via plague.
I was like, just stick with whatever makes you happy, man.
Yeah.
But I am
That's
going
what
to
makes me
continue.
happy.
I'm going to continue pressuring you to come out to Georgia. But we'll talk about that actually a little after we sign off here. And so with that, I want to say thank you everyone who's been watching the Champ and I do this podcast, listening to us. If you're new here, definitely hit that subscribe button. You made it to the end of the video. What are you doing? That's just being silly. So whether it's on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, give us 5 stars on the audio platforms, a like over here on YouTube. But thank you. And any final words from the King Champion of the World?
No, just to let you guys know that I am the Prince of Peace. I know that there's a lot of other pretenders out there to the throne, to the Prince of Peace. I'll be dealing with them before this year is up. Big championship match coming soon. American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, you, me, Pat McAfee together in the ring. However that's going to make it happen, even though I'm clearly an AEW boy through and through. But that's about it. Phil, any final words for you?
No, I'm just in awe of all that shiny that's on you.
This is going to be the best context collapse clips in the history of Crashing Out.